I don't want to say the exact same thing every time though. Hi kids, welcome to another video.
Let's get started. Sweet.
King Ahab was king over Israel. He was an evil king, leading the Israelites away from God. They worshipped Baal, a false god, instead. The things King Ahab did made God angry, and God caused a drought. The drought would show King Ahab and all the people that God, not Baal, is powerful and in control of all things. A drought made life very hard. No rain or dew fell in the land. Without rain, people could not grow crops in the fields. The lakes and rivers dried up. Finally, after 3 years, God was ready to send rain. God used a prophet named Elijah to send a message to King Ahab. When Ahab met Elijah, Ahab said, "Is that you, troubler of Israel?" King Ahab blamed Elijah for the drought and the hard times in the land. "You have caused this trouble by disobeying God and worshipping false gods," Elijah replied. Then Elijah invited King Ahab and the Israelites and all of the people who worship Baal together at Mount Carmel. Elijah stood in front of the crowd and said, "Make up your minds. If you believe that the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him." Elijah set up a challenge to show who the one true God is. The worshippers of Baal set up an altar for their false god. They prepared a bull and put it on their altar. "You call to Baal," Elijah told the people, "and ask him to send fire to your altar. I will call on the Lord. The God who answers by fire is the one true God." Then the worshippers of Baal agreed. From morning until noon, they cried out to Baal, "Baal, answer us!" But no one answered. The people danced and cried and cut their bodies. Still, no one answered. Then Elijah gathered the people around him. He dug a trench around his altar, prepared a bull, and put it on a pile of wood. Then Elijah asked for 4 jars of water to be poured on the wood. When the wood and the bull were wet, he asked for even more water. A third time water was poured over the altar, and it ran down and filled the trench. Then Elijah prayed to God, "Answer me, Lord. Answer me so that these people will know that you, Yahweh, are God." God answered Elijah. He sent fire from the sky, and the fire burned up the bull and the wood and the stones and the dust. It burned up the water that was in the trench. There was no doubt that the Lord is the one true God. The men who had worshipped Baal fell on their faces and said, "Yahweh, he is God. Yahweh, he is God." Then Elijah killed all the people who worshipped Baal. Elijah saw a little cloud over the sea. Then God sent rain. The sky grew dark with clouds, and there was a great rain. Yahweh ended the drought and proved that he is the one true God. And so Elijah called on the power of God to prove to the worshippers of Baal that Yahweh is the one true God. By sending fire from heaven, God displayed his great power. God would use his power years later to raise Jesus from the dead, showing that Jesus is the Son of God.
boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that video. Today's story was about Elijah and an altar to God. So that's what we're going to do today. So what you need to do is head to the link below and click on the link that says craft. And what you're going to see is this page that looks a little bit like this. We've got a square here, or a rectangle here, of different pictures, and then one rectangle down the bottom. So you want to go ahead and print that out and color in all of the elements except this square here, because that is where we're going to cut it out. So I've colored one in already. As you can see, I've colored in my stone altar, which is what they used to worship God with. And then I've put water, because just like in the story, the water was poured onto the altar. And then we've got a fire here to see when Jesus lights it on fire. So once you've done that, you want to cut along this line. Now you have the fire and the rectangle by itself. Cut out the rectangle along the line. So once you've cut that out, you can put it to the side. We're going to work on the other half of the paper. So on this half of the paper, we've got the two dotted lines going down and the one square in the middle. What you want to do is you want to cut out the square in the middle. How I like to do it is fold it in half a little bit. You don't have to push down, just fold it in half and make a little cut in the middle. There we go. Now I have the little cut in the middle. Now I can decide to cut out the square. Now I've got a little peeky hole which will be able to see the fire in behind. So now what you want to do is you want to fold back this blank piece here along the dotted line to the back where it says glue. Then you want to get the other side and fold that back as well. We've got a little envelope which has our picture on one side and God is the true God on the other side. And what you want to do is you want to glue here and stick these two pieces together. So now that I've glued it together, I still can slip my hand in the front section where the hole is. And what you want to do is you want to slide in your fire. And so there we have the fire, the altar catching on fire. If you want, you can color in this picture, this part of the picture, to maybe draw someone pouring water onto the altar, or the bull that was on top of the altar. And so there we have the jug of water being poured onto our altar, and the water overflowing the altar and falling into the trenches. And suddenly Elijah prayed to God, and the altar lit into flames, just like Elijah said it would, because God is the true God. Thanks for watching, kids, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys next week. Bye, guys.